do the reels and dance and do all the stuff that we don't want to do. You know, YouTube is a great place to get found. TikTok right now is blowing up. It's a great place to find new audience members. So again, think to yourself, am I looking for new people or am I looking to nurture people? Don't ask yourself, what platforms do I like being on? What platforms do I like consuming content on? Ask yourself, where are your clients? Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, but I specialize in helping you turn your success story into a 6 or even 7-figure coaching brand. And along those lines, it's going to be very difficult to create a 6 or 7-figure coaching brand if you're not on social media and if you're not on the right social media platforms for you. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you pick the right social media platforms for your business, because every business doesn't need to be on every single platform, and how I use social media and how it has really been helping my business. So if you've ever wondered, you know, should I get on TikTok? Should I get on YouTube? Should I create a podcast? You're gonna love this video because I'm gonna help you make that decision right now. All right, the first thing you need to consider when it comes to choosing the right social media platform for your business is you gotta understand, where are your people? Meaning, where is your ideal client? Now, as business owners, we are on social media for a lot of reasons, but the primary reason is to attract clients and make sales. People don't believe me when I say this, but it's the truth. I literally would not have social media if it weren't for my businesses. In fact, people always ask me what my personal profiles are, and I tell them I don't have any. Even the profiles that have my name on it, right? So like my Instagram, CourtneyLSanders, that's actually not my personal profile, that's my business profile, because that is my business name. So I put business content there. This YouTube channel, I don't have a personal YouTube channel, right? You do not see me vlogging, whatever. This is strictly a business channel. I have a business podcast, and even my Facebook. So I do have a personal Facebook, but I never post on it. The only reason there's any content on my personal Facebook is because my mom will post pictures of, you know, my kids, or people every year, you know, comment, happy birthday, when Facebook gives them a little reminder that it's my birthday. That's it. But if it weren't for my business, I would not be on social media. So whether you have personal profiles or business profiles or not, you have to understand that when it comes to choosing platforms for your business, when it comes to social media, you have to do it with the business in mind. So don't ask yourself, what platforms do I like being on? What platforms do I like consuming content on? Ask yourself, where are your clients? And you would be surprised. In fact, I have one private client that I'm working with right now, and when we were just brainstorming different ways that we wanted to expand her social media, at first I was like, oh girl, you gotta get on YouTube, it's great, I'm really enjoying, you know, creating these videos, I have a whole strategy for you that we can do for YouTube. But when I later, after that call, started to do the research, preliminary keyword research, all these things, to think about where she should, what type of content she should be creating for her business, I realized that her target market actually isn't on YouTube. But granted, they're on YouTube, but they're not searching out what she talks about. And so then I went back to her and I was like, I think there's still an advantage just to kind of planting your flag in the ground and, you know, creating your arena on YouTube. But I was like, I don't know that that's going to be the greatest driver of leads and prospects for you in the beginning. In fact, I actually think you can be on TikTok. Yes, I recommended that a client get on TikTok. If you guys have watched my video for any amount of time, you know that I go back and forth on TikTok. I'm personally not a fan of the platform, but I recognize that it is blowing up. So yes, your girl is working on creating, you know, TikTok. We'll talk about that in a minute. But even though I'm personally biased against TikTok, when it comes to my clients, if I do the research and I realize that their people are there, I'm like, oh, you need to be on TikTok. In fact, I have one client who was formerly on Instagram, was having difficulty there, switched to TikTok, and she started making 10K a month, no problem, right? So the first thing that you want to think about is, where are your people, your ideal clients? Not people who consume your content, but people that you want to actually buy your programs, right? People with money who are willing to spend that money on what you offer. What platforms are they on, and what platforms are they on consuming your content, right? What you talk about. Wherever that is, that should be in the running for the social media platforms that your business should be on. All right, the second thing that you'll want to consider that I find no one talks about, and I'm like, this is so important, is you want to consider your own communication style. What is your best communication style? We're all different, right? Some of us are excellent writers. Some of us are excellent in terms of presenting our ideas visually. And then some of us are auditory in that we are really great at speaking. Me personally, I think my best communication strength is speaking. So you'll notice that I tend to use profiles where I can speak, like my podcast, or video, YouTube, where I can speak. I am a strong writer, but writing takes me a long time. So I prefer to be on platforms where I can just verbally communicate my ideas, or platforms where I can transcribe my verbal communication and then put that content there. So you want to make sure that whatever platforms you're considering allows you to use your strongest communication styles on that platform. So for me, Instagram is a bit of a Swiss Army knife in my business. There's, so much that you can do on Instagram, right? Obviously there's the captions, so you can post long text, but then there's carousel. So if you don't really like showing yourself online, you can almost create like a slideshow or like a PowerPoint slide on Instagram. Obviously there's videos. If you like dancing or kind of doing this entertainment thing, then you can create the reels. So for me, Instagram was just a great place for me to be because I can take clips of my podcast and I can put it on Instagram. I can take clips from these videos, I can put it on Instagram, and then I can transcribe a lot of what I'm saying and I can use that as the basis for the captions on Instagram as well. So think about, are you a good speaker, right? If you're not a good speaker, but you're a better writer, I'm not saying that you can't get on a particular platform, but you'll have to think more creatively about how you communicate in your strongest style on that platform. So if you are not a good speaker or auditory communicator, but you're a great writer, you're gonna have to think about Instagram a little differently. Maybe start following writers and poets. You'll notice how they use Instagram is totally different. They don't post a lot of pictures, they post a lot of quotes and text-based graphics, and then they have these long, beautifully written, heart-moving captions. You might wanna use Instagram that way. Ditto if you wanna get on TikTok and kind of ride that trend, understand that maybe you're gonna have to start using stock footage, for your videos, and then have, text that goes over it, and then maybe you have the little robotic voice that you hear on TikTok. Oh my goodness, I sound so old. I'm only a millennial. I'm only in my 30s, but the little TikTok voice that's like, how to blah, blah, blah. Hey, you might need to do that if you're not that strong of a communicator. So think about, what are your strongest communication strengths? Are you a writer? Are you a speaker? Or are you a visual presenter, visual communicator? And then of the platforms where your audience is, start to brainstorm different ways that you can communicate in a way that works for you. All right, the third thing that you need to consider that I also find nobody talking about, so you guys are getting all of my good secrets here, is you need to determine the primary objective of the social media platform. There's two main objectives for any social media platform from the perspective of a business owner. And those objectives are you looking for new people? Or are you looking to nurture your people? Those are really the only two things that you're doing on social media. I see this a lot with Instagram because Instagram has been giving us all a run for our money with all these changes into the algorithm and our audience not seeing our stuff, and we gotta do the reels and dance and do all the stuff that we don't wanna do. Well, you might need to pivot how you use Instagram. I know for me, I no longer use Instagram as a growth tool. I use it as a nurture tool, right? I use YouTube as a growth tool. So you have to know what the strengths of the platform are, right? For YouTube, I'm attracting a lot of new people who have never heard of me, but they're searching things in Google or YouTube. They're hitting my videos and they're like, oh my goodness, I've never heard of her before, but she's great. They're enjoying my videos, and then what do I do at the end of every video? I'm directing you to my Instagram. Why? Because you already know who I am. You're already following me here on YouTube. I'm directing you to my Instagram so I can nurture you, so we can deepen the relationship, so you can see how I am and all my goofiness, behind the scenes and my stories and all of that. So you need to understand what is the primary objective of the social media platform that you are considering, and you also need to understand, where are you in your business and what do you need most in your business right now? Are you more established and you're just like, we have a really large audience, but we are not getting the sales that we want out of that audience? You might have a nurture problem. And so you might need to think about growing or spending more time on social media platforms that allow you to nurture your community there. But if you're not there yet, but you're like, I don't have a large enough following, or I feel like I'm not attracting enough new people, you need to be focusing on social media platforms that will allow you to grow and that will allow you to get found. So, YouTube is a great place to get found. TikTok right now is blowing up. It's a great place to find new audience members. So again, think to yourself, am I looking for new people, or am I looking to nurture people? Or am I looking to do both? And whatever your answer is, that's gonna determine the mix in terms of which social media platforms that you should be on. Okay, I have more where that came from, but first I wanna hear from you. What social media platforms are you on? Share in the comments below. All right, so in my last tip, I talked about whether you should be nurturing people or looking for new people. And so right now, I just wanna share, just in my opinion, what I think are the best social media platforms based on each objective. So if you are looking for new people, the social media platforms that I recommend you be on are YouTube. YouTube is a great place to attract new people. TikTok is blowing up right now, great place to attract new people. Podcast, now I say podcast with a little asterisk by it. It depends on your subject matter. If you are in a niche that is highly crowded and there's already a lot of podcasts on that subject, you can still do a podcast, but we'll talk about ways that you can use podcasts, from a nurture standpoint in just a minute. But if you are in a particular niche and there aren't a lot of podcasts on your subject, I highly recommend that you start a podcast, do it on both iTunes and Spotify, because that's where most people are getting their podcasts, and you will find that you will start to attract a lot of people who are searching through podcasts for your type of content and your type of information, and that's a great growth tool. Now, the fourth place that I recommend that you be on if you're looking to get new people is actually Facebook, but Facebook groups. Namely, other people's Facebook groups. So being in other people's Facebook groups is a great way to find new clients. So go to other Facebook groups that are on a particular subject that is related to whatever it is that you coach or that you teach on, and make sure that you are just giving value. Don't sell in Facebook groups, but just give value. And you'll find that if you give value, people will automatically start to reach out to you. And that's a great way to get exposure to new people. So if you're looking for new people, make sure that you are on YouTube, TikTok, podcasts, if it's a podcast subject that is not highly saturated already on most popular podcast platforms, and then also make sure you're in other people's Facebook groups. All right, now if you are looking to nurture people, meaning you want to be on a platform to deepen the relationship with your audience, and you're not looking for new people, then I highly recommend that you get on Instagram. So I've mentioned this in other videos. I think I even said it here. Instagram is a bit of a Swiss Army knife in my business because you can do so many different things on that platform. So Instagram, even though people are frustrated, oh, I'm not getting new followers. Okay, it's no longer the tool for growth, but it is a great tool for nurturing and to making your audience warm up to you and want to buy what you are selling. So if you're on Instagram, don't get off. And if you're not on Instagram, but you want to nurture your audience, make sure that you are getting on. The second platform is podcasts. Yes, if you want to nurture your people, I still recommend creating a podcast on your subject matter, even if it's a very crowded, niche, and there are already a lot of podcasts on that subject, because your people want to hear from you, right? So maybe you are attracting them through YouTube or you're attracting them through TikTok, but then you let them know that you have a podcast and they listen to your podcast. And again, it deepens that relationship. They can hear your voice. They can see the types of subjects that you like to talk about, and it just really strengthens that connection. So your podcast, if you're in a crowded niche, it's okay. You can still use it as a nurture tool. And then lastly, Facebook groups. I know, I just said Facebook groups are great for growth, right? Other people's Facebook groups are great for growth, but creating your own Facebook group is great for nurturing. So again, if you're looking to nurture your people, do consider creating a Facebook group for them. That way, if you are attracting them from other platforms, they're coming into your world, you can let them know, hey, I have a Facebook group where you can deepen and strengthen that community, and they can really feel like they're a part of something, and that should increase your sales that way. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you love these tips, you are gonna love my Client Attraction Masterclass. This is a masterclass that you'll get access to right away that walks you through my entire client attraction process and how I attract so many clients. So if you wanna know what I do and what I'm currently doing right now, make sure that you sign up for that masterclass right now by clicking the link below. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, you can follow me on my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.